Hi everybody, this is Tasha again, and I was just thinking of a few things, and one of the things where I was watching Jada Pinkett's Red Table Talk, and they had E.J. Johnson, Magic Johnson's son, on there with his mother Cookie. And you know, EJ came out gay, and they were saying that, you know, Magic cried at first. He had to get used to it, which is natural. You know, when he was saying that he had a special, you know, he had an expectation of his son. And since EJ wasn't that, you know, he had to accept it. And Cookie said the same thing. So now EJ's out, of course, and EJ was making the statement that he had to be careful who he was friends with, that they just want to be friends with him because of, you know, who his father was and the money. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about was EJ is a fashion plate. If you've seen all the magazines, he's a fashion plate, makeup, the whole business. And the outfits he wears, they're basically women's clothes. And I was looking at him, and I was saying he looks nice. But one thing I had to correct myself, or realize, being a older transgender woman of a particular age, back in my day, it was just LGBT. And it really was no name for a transgender woman. You were just called a femme queen. And if you were just gay, you were a butch queen. And that was really all the names that they had back in that time. So now what I'm saying is, I see EJ now, and it came to me, I'm saying, wow, he's all made up, and he's in these nice, he wears nice clothes. And I'm saying, but he's not on hormones, he hasn't transitioned. So I was starting to kind of read him and say, well, girl, if you in these women clothes and painted, why don't you just get on hormones and live your life as a woman? I mean, it seems like you're just living so close to it. Are you transgender? And I had did that with Miss Lawrence. I'm sure you all are familiar with her on, what's the show? Oh God, what's the show she's on? I can't think of it. Star. And when she was on the Housewives of Atlanta. And you know, Miss Lawrence is famous for her high heels and her dressing. And she dressed wonderful too. And then I would say, you know, why doesn't she just transition? They're dressing, he's dressing in women's clothes. And why just you still are satisfied with the gender you are, being born male, but you want to wear female clothes and shoes. And I was saying the same thing about EJ. Then it dawned on me, girl, you need to stop judging. You're thinking about the time when you were coming up, when it was either a femme queen, that meant you were living as a woman, and either you were a butch queen, or there were gender non-conformant, but it wasn't a name for it then. They just wore femme clothes, and they weren't on hormones and didn't want to become a woman. And it was just, they were called queer, fags, or whatever. And so it hit me. I had an epiphany, or a light bulb moment, as Oprah used to say, girl. I'm like, you're judging. The same way you have been judged all your life, or most of your life, when you transitioned to become the woman that you felt you were, or you were born as, because you were transgender when you were born. You just didn't know it. So it made me think, girl, stop labeling them. Stop saying that they need to be on hormones because they're wearing these clothes and these women's shoes, and even Derek J with the shoes. I mean, for a little taste, I had been judging. And then it hit me. Stop it, girl. We're LGBT. This is the LGBT community. And this is why we have a lot of issues in our community. People judging. People looking down. Not that I was looking down, but I was just saying, well, if they're dressing like women, why don't they just take the hormones and transition to a woman? But everybody doesn't feel they're a woman or transgender. They just like to wear the clothes that they want to wear. Whether it be high heels, makeup, they're just non-conforming. And I realized, wow, I think a little bit of you is still back in the 80s, and you need to work on it. And it was really an eye-opener, because I was doing what society does to us, trans women. They judge us, and even in our own community, who's passable, who's not. If you're not passable, the other girls are reading you, talking down on you. They don't want to be with you. They run if they're in society or out. They don't want to be spooked out. So I said, damn it, girl, you're doing the same thing. This is now a time where gender non-conforming. They can dress any way they want and not be judged. And you're slightly judging them. I mean, I didn't do it viciously or read every time, but the thought would cross my mind, well, did you ever feel transgender? Why are you dressing like a woman, but you don't feel that way? And I kind of thought, wow, it looks weird. You're not on hormones. You haven't transitioned. And then I had that light bulb moment. And I said, stop it, girl. They're satisfied being the gender they are, non-conforming. And it is what it is. And I think in that aspect, I need to catch up with the times. I'm human. And that was my revelation, that I realized that I was being like some of the people in society, judging. When I get judged, transgender women get judged. And I was doing the same exact thing. So now I realize, stop it. People can dress the way they want. If they're gender non-conforming, that's them. And I've realized that that's what I had been doing. And I can own up to my mistakes. And I just really wanted to share that I'm really took a look at myself, and I'm over it now. Just like transgender women are judged, and we're judged, and I was doing the same thing within my own community. And I want our community to thrive. And like I said, everybody in the LGBT community that downs us or downs each other or look down on each other. We all need to take a look at ourselves and stop it and stick together and stop judging. And like I said, I wasn't terrible with it. It was just a few times that I had these thoughts. And now I'm over it. I've really taken a look at myself and I'm like, no more, girl. This is how they want to live. Live and let live. Just like you fight for transgender rights as well. So, that's really all I had to say. I'm glad I had that light bulb moment. And I will not judge again because I want our community to stick together and stop all the nitpicking and judging and laughing. And it begins with me. And it begins with everybody who does it. Anyway, that's all I had to say. And like, share, subscribe. I'm a new girl on the block, so I'm enjoying doing this and sharing my feelings. So you all have a lovely, lovely evening. Mwah. Love you.